Hi there, my name is Ryan Coelho, and I'm the CEO and founder of GameOn Leadership, and you are watching Passion Pursuits.
Welcome to Passion Pursuits. I'm Shivani Sharma. We're at the Art Square Cafe and Eastside Gallery. This is Premal, Brahmbhatt, and today we have with us Ryan Coelho. Hey Ryan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Hey.
Awesome.
So Ryan is our budding passioneer, and he has started his own shop. I'm going to say shop because it could be a shop, I'm sure, called the GameOn Leadership. So tell us more about it.
Yeah, so GameOn Leadership I started back in 2012, and it was basically stemmed from a struggle that I had. So I graduated from aerospace engineering in 2008, and quickly realized as I entered the industry that it wasn't quite for me. It was great. I got to call myself a rocket scientist, and of course I have Indian parents, so they definitely love that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel like, it was somewhere I wanted to be. So I tried going out. I went overseas to volunteer with Engineers Without Borders in Africa for a year, came back, joined a startup to help them build a business. And after 3 years, I just felt really lost and confused as to where I was going. So 2011, I went through this big self-discovery type phase where I jumped into leadership and personal development, was blown away by the stuff I learned, and decided that in 2012, I was going to start GameOn Leadership, which is all about helping students and young professionals find careers that they're really passionate about and start making progress. So start being proactive and taking action towards what they want rather than just settling for what they get or what people tell them to do. And what's interesting about it is we added gamification to it. So it's taking game-like thinking and applying it to leadership development to make people more engaged in the process.
So how does that work? Like, what kind of gamification do you do?
Yeah, it's a tricky word. So it's fairly a new concept. It's been around for a while. When you get those credit cards that have loyalty points on it, and when you go to stores and you have like Shoppers Optimum, that's all gamification. And the way I define it is gamification is a process of adding game-like thinking to real-life situations in a way that motivates people towards a meaningful outcome. And so really what it is how do we make the experience feel more fun and engaging rather than boring, daunting, disengaging, which career development can be if you're scared and not sure what you want to do. So that's what this sort of, I guess you could say it's an approach or it's a paradigm around how you think of building a system.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I was a person who needed some career development and I came to you, then how would I be engaged in the gamification? Give me an example. Very
good question. So basically what happens is we're still in beta, so just sort of on the outset, I don't know when this is going to be aired, but we're in beta right now. And the way we want to build it out is that when people come to the site, we take them through a bit of training. So we help them find direction. And the way we do that is don't get caught up in trying to find out what you want to do for the rest of your life. Find out or choose what you want to do right now. So passion's a feeling. You can't register it during thought. For both of you, I'm sure you've done something where you're like, I really enjoy this and I really love it. And that's what we want to get people in the mentality of. So they find direction, and another term of saying that is we help them create their game.
Okay.
And from there, once they're in the system, they start taking actions and tracking their goals. And these actions are connecting with resources that are valuable in this career direction, or maybe it's meeting certain people or doing certain things, anything that can help them move forward. And then we're going to be adding perks and other cool, I guess you could say, features that'll allow them to stay motivated along the way. So it's it's an engaging process where there's a social community around it as well.
Awesome. Well, I've already found my career direction. I'm probably going to come and
well, we need some motivation.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Totally. So how did you come up with the planning process, right? Like how do you know what comes first and what doesn't come first?
For like building the project, you mean?
Yeah.
So I probably took I don't want to say the worst possible approach to entrepreneurship, but probably the stupidest approach to entrepreneurship. So no savings, no in-depth experience in leadership and personal development and coaching in general. No business experience. Again, I graduated from engineering, and a very closed mind that was starting to become open. So it was a very, very difficult, let's just say, year of trying to figure things out. What I've learned is planning is important, but it's important to an extent. And I feel one big benefit of the approach I took, which was minimal planning and lots of action and adjusting along the way, is that I avoided trying to come up with the full idea before I even allowed the idea to take its own form and own shape. So I let feedback influence the idea, I let people's ideas influence the idea. So now what I recommend to people is finding that balance. How can you plan to as far as you can see, I guess you could say, and then start taking action to see if that plan actually makes sense, or if you need to adjust it a bit to make your idea grow in a different direction.
You know, that's a really good point, because people always think that they need to have everything but figure out before they start their startup. And in that process, they barely ever start, and it takes so long that by the time they start, they've already lost their motivation to do anything.
And it's funny because progress adds to your motivation.
Yeah.
So I'm writing a book on the fundamentals of motivation, and basically part of it is passion, purpose, progress, perspective, so how you see situations, and people. And if you can surround yourself with the effective use of those 5 things, you'll do really well. But to your point, progress is so important to help you stay motivated, keep going, and not even that, to help you find the steps that will actually work. Because you can't, if we could figure everything out in the beginning stages, everyone would be doing amazing, because it would be like, let's just plan it out and it's done. But it's never like that. It's always a process, and I feel you can't see the whole staircase, but still take the first step type mentality.
Oh, that's a really good quote.
It's not mine.
Right.
Martin Luther King Jr. Can't see. I mean, it's mine. Come on. Right?
All right. So, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges of starting your own company?
Starting your own company. No. It literally is one giant challenge. If I had to narrow it down, I think it is, one of my mentors said this to me when I first started. He said, if you want this to work, you have to believe in yourself. And at first I'm like, okay, what is that BS? Like, really, what does believe in yourself mean?
Yeah.
And what I've come to learn, it really is understanding that you're capable of doing it if you just stay focused and keep putting in the effort. It will work out. And if you stay open-minded, so if you understand that the way you think it's going to be may not be the way it's always going to be. So if I look at my past, I like to say Ryan version 1.0 compared to Ryan version 552, where I'm at now. What I like to the biggest thing that I've learned, I guess you could say, and that was a challenge at first, but allowed me to grow to where I am today, is you don't need to have all the right answers. You don't need to figure it all out yourself. You need to be able to get feedback, learn from others, and take all those ideas and apply it, execute and apply those ideas in a way that makes something work. So you don't need to do it all. You don't need to figure it all out. Leverage off everything that's around you, but at the same time, don't let everything influence you. Understand when you need to kind of take the reins.
Yeah.
But I guess that comes with being open first, David, right?
Exactly.
To take in, because a lot of people are not always open to take in. And
That's true.
so as an entrepreneur, how much do you stay open to ideas and influence?
Well, actually, I'm really glad you asked that.
Yeah.
So a big part of GameOn leadership philosophy is, again, we developed a bit of a course that helps you find direction, and we use the analogy of a game, obviously. So in a game, you have a person or a player who's on a mission, so they want to be something. They have an objective or a vision, that's where they want to go. They take actions to get there, and they have challenges holding them back. Okay? And so that applies in sports as well. But now in the game of leadership, or in the game of for your career, for example, the only challenge you face is yourself, and it's your perspective on how things occur to you. And so to stay open, what I've done is I've had to shift my language to myself, I guess you could say, from living in a world where things were right and wrong. So it's kind of like, I have the right approach, that person's wrong, or they're right, I'm wrong, and then you beat yourself up, to what works and what doesn't. So when someone gives me an idea, I say, okay, if that's my objective and that's their idea, will it work? So now I'm taking away whether it's right or wrong. Who cares about the subjective nature of it?
Yeah.
Objectively, can their feedback help me move towards my goal? And if that works, give them the credit. Let them have it. If it doesn't work, explain to them why you don't think it will work. And at the end of the day, if you talk to people in terms of what works, what doesn't, it's usually a better conversation because no one feels sort of disempowered and they don't let their ego react when they're like, what do you mean I'm wrong? Like, or, I'm right. And you don't want to feed it. You want to just keep it as objective as possible. And so that's what helps me stay open is whenever I catch myself right or wrong, what works, what doesn't work. And that shifted mentality of using that language makes a world of difference.
Great. So now tell me, now we've talked about the challenges and we've talked about, the balance between who's right and who's wrong. What do you think in your company so far, in your journey so far, the biggest highlight that you've had?
Biggest highlight? It's amazing because there's so many. It's hard to say the highlight because when you go so low, everything that goes a little bit higher feels like a big highlight.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'll give a couple, but
sure.
I got to spoke at TEDx Richmond Hill back in 2012 in August, and it was 8 months after I started.
Wonderful.
And for me, it was a pretty awesome deal because, again, I started this with no savings, no experience, nothing that really made me credible in the industry, but like writing on my blog and teaching my workshops, it allowed me to build that credibility.
Yeah.
And that's why, for myself, it proved experience is something you create for yourself. It's not something that takes X amount of years.
Yeah.
It's how much effort you put in. And then the other highlight had to be just having the online system that we've created. Like, it literally in the beginning was, I want to make this online. I want to make it accessible. And again, we're in the beginning phases. We're in the beta stage, but just seeing it and being like, I thought this and now it's reality and it's in front of me. And the journey to get there was nothing like I intended it to be. For me, is just a highlight in knowing if you desire something, as Think and Grow Rich says, if you desire it and believe in it, it'll happen. And it sounds crazy, it sounds new age, but if you can do it, I really believe it actually does take effect. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you stay motivated then?
Oh gosh.
You're sitting there playing the game and you're like, this is my motivation.
Self-reflection.
Because I know this will be helpful for everyone watching, but a few things that I find helpful is always learn from your experiences. So if you have an experience, whether good or bad, if you can learn from it, you're getting value from that experience right away, and it will actually give you that energy to say, it wasn't a wasted experience, or I wasn't wrong, or I don't suck. I learned something, and I had a valuable experience, right? So, you ask someone you go for an interview and you get rejected. So, beating yourself up, be like, what can I learn from that experience? Surround yourself with amazing people. Remember, you're influenced most by the people around you most often because they just bigger element of trust.
Yeah.
So if you have people around you who don't believe in you, who don't think you should do what you're doing, guess what you're going to do? You're going to doubt yourself as well.
Yeah.
So people, and then that perspective thing, like I told you, what works, what doesn't work, and having that purpose. I think purpose and passion, they kind of go hand in hand. If you don't love what you're doing and you don't see where it's going in the long term, every bump is going to throw you off course. So if you can continue to hold in your mind, what am I up to? So for myself, GameOn Leadership is about helping people move forward in their careers towards ones they really want, where they can have an impact. That always stays on the top of my mind, even when I hit roadblocks.
So what's your plan on getting clients? Because I feel like a lot of people, when they have their startups, they have all of the other stuff in place, but when it comes to getting people to actually use their product or come in and use their services, that's where the roadblock really happens. So
so I wouldn't say I'm over that roadblock right now. I definitely am learning a lot about monetizing a business. I feel something that I've been fortunate enough, especially this year, I would say, is understanding value. It's not necessarily about money only, it's about value and then monetizing the value.
Right.
So with GameOn Leadership, we're at an interesting point where the value we're offering for the target market of younger people, it doesn't make sense to make that a monetary type transaction, at least not as the main source of revenue. But there are companies that are going to want the talent we work with, or there's companies that want to get in front of the talent we're going to be working with. So now we're starting to explore those opportunities. And then as an entrepreneur, you got to understand when to realize not to rush the process. And so I'm starting to consult on gamification with companies. I do speaking. I do other things that also allow me to continue to fund the project. So it's being smart about making money and understanding how to, but also realizing that it does come down to value, and if you focus on building that value and you allow yourself to make money once you have something valuable, obviously for people who have money, usually businesses, so consumers can work, but you better make sure it's a desired want for them. Then you can create a transaction there. Otherwise, stick to the business world and say, how will a business pay me to work with the audience out?
So you're focusing more on B2B than...
Kind of, yeah, at the end of the day, but you want
to bring value to B2C and B2B.
Well, that's the thing, right? So you're always tied there because my value to B2B is kind of relying on my value to B2C.
Yeah.
And then there's no saying what B2C, how it's going to pan out to benefit B2B. So you always got to be on your toes and not be attached to one business model working, but obviously look into what could work.
Okay. So one last question.
Sure.
And then we'll head on to our next section. What does passion mean to you?
What does passion mean to you?
You did mention it a couple of times.
Yeah.
You can give us the how you define it, because we're in Passion Pursuits.
Yeah. Passion, I think I said earlier, it really is, to me, it's a feeling of joy and excitement. It's a feeling that there's a state called flow. It's this feeling where what you're doing in the moment is exactly what you want to be doing, and you don't feel like you should be anywhere else. Your mind kind of turns off from worries, concerns, and you're in total problem-solving mode, whether it's helping others understand something as an educator or trying to finish coding, like try to figure out how something works. It's when you find yourself engrossed by the moment and not worrying about anything else. And I feel a couple of caveats with passion is it's not static. What you're passionate about now is not forever. I used to be the biggest Toronto Raptors fan. God bless them, but I've moved on from really being extremely in love with them. Now they're just another team, and I kind of watch them if they ever make the playoffs again. But before, I'd be all over that, like constantly. I worked at games and that kind of thing. So understanding it does change, and understanding that it can only be felt. So don't think that you can think of your passion.
Yeah.
It'll come as you experience things. So if you're not sure what you're passionate about, stop trying to figure it out by doing all these tests and whatnot. They're good for personality traits and whatnot.
Right.
But for your passion, just go out and say, what would I really enjoy doing today? Go try it. And if you get turned on and you're like, you know what? I love it. I may need to improve on it, but I still love it. That's for you.
So, all right, now we're going to move on to our rapid fire round, and I'm going to hand it over to Premal Brahmbhatt. And yeah,
jack
you feel
myself
a little bit afraid, child.
All right, let's do it.
Gotta roll up your sleeves.
Okay, so you don't know what...
I don't know what rapid fire is.
So as it sounds, rapid fire is it's a bunch of questions we're gonna go through.
Okay.
And you have to rapidly give me an answer. You have about 3 to 4 seconds to come up with the right answer that you think is right. You can come up with the wrong answer; it's still fine, and we'll also consider it correct.
Okay.
But it can be related to what you've been doing, what you've not been doing. It can be related to your personal life.
Okay.
So, because here we want to get to know you more, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you take too long, we take away your coffee.
Yeah.
It's happened before.
Yeah, it has actually.
30 seconds you said, right? Or 3 seconds?
3 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. What do you think this is? Jeez.
Okay, ready?
Rapid fire.
He's a troublemaker, this one.
I know.
Gotta get it's a cappuccino, man. Wow, that's strong.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay, so the best you, leader or entrepreneur?
The best what?
You. Leader or entrepreneur?
Oh, leader.
Facebook or Twitter? Your favorite social media?
Oh, Facebook. Facebook. Hey, everybody. Facebook. Love you.
Facebook or Twitter, best or branding yourself?
Facebook.
Anthony Robbins or Deepak Chopra, your favorite idol?
Anthony Robbins.
2 words that describe GameOn.
Kick ass.
One thing you do every day to stay motivated.
I don't do it every day, but I should. The gym.
If you could go back in time, what do you wish you had created?
GameOn leadership earlier.
GameOn! GameOn! One word
That is fine.
that comes to your mind and that starts with O.
Oh my gosh. OMG.
OMG.
It's not one word. Fail.
Oh my gosh. The way Usher says it, he kind of makes
It's alright. It's alright. One word that starts with G.
Greatness. Greatness.
Complete the following sentence. If you want to get started with
Yeah. ... If you want to get started with, ...
Complete that sentence.
if you want to get started with your life, get started with your life.
Okay. One brand you cannot live without.
Brand? Facebook.
He's got a Facebook button in his head. And
I do.
recording the
Big
answer.
pro. Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. For random.
If you met Trump, what would you tell him?
Is your hair real? I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
Your favorite board game?
Monopoly. Monopoly? Monopoly.
Is that a game?
Monopoly.
Okay. One actress you would not want to date.
I would not want to date.
Right.
Oh man, I don't know what actress I would not want to date.
Or artist, even. You would not want to date.
Uma Thurman. Not so much into her.
Okay, well,
Sorry, Uma.
now let's assume the next day you woke up beside her. What would you tell her?
See ya. No, maybe less intrusive. Adios, señorita.
That's a good one. Cool. One thing you do to impress anyone.
Smile.
Good answer.
Way, yeah.
Good answer. One touristic destination you have been dying to go to.
I want to go like to the heart of Africa. I've lived in Africa, but not in like Kenya. Yeah. Kenya. I want to do the hot air balloon to see the safaris. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Great. One book everyone should read. Beside yours in the future.
Yeah, exactly. How to win friends and influence people.
Yeah.
I can't believe I even hesitated to say that one. That
Definitely. I've been actually reading that for this week.
amazing.
It's funny.
It's on Google Play, 99 cents. Check it out.
It's free on YouTube, by the way.
There you go. Free on YouTube.
Great, I'm gonna get it.
So, what's your advice to passioneers?
I think the biggest thing is I can relate to a lot of people in the sense where I got scared. I was really scared to get started because I had this fear of being wrong or not sure if that's the right GameOn leadership was the right choice, or if I'll make it, quote unquote, make it. I think the biggest thing is you can't get over that by thinking about it. You got to go through that pain, and when you go through the pain, it allows you to feel success. Success is relative to pain. So if you just go out there and just go with what you feel, as painful as it might be, you're not gonna die. It doesn't kill you, it only makes you stronger type mentality. And don't wait, like just do it now.
Just do it!
Stop watching this video and go do it. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, there's,
After the video is over.
okay, maybe after the video, I have some notes to tell you. But seriously, the more you wait, the more you're going to lose the motivation to continue to go. And just let life guide you. Life's my biggest teacher, and it's so far, thank you life, whatever it is to anybody, it's been great.
Fantastic. So, thank you very much.
No problem, thanks so much.
Thanks very much, Ryan, to have
Thank you.
Coming over.
Thanks everybody.
Take some time off your busy schedule and joining us today and sharing some great points with our viewers, your fans, our fans. So, thank you guys again for watching Passion Pursuits. You can connect with us on the website via Facebook and Twitter. Stay passionate, stay motivated, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Peace!
Everybody, welcome to Passion.
Okay,
Cry.
well,
And we're also at the Art Square Cafe and You're not normally like this, just so you know.
Yeah, it's your fault.
No, actually, it might be. I don't know.
Okay, where's the coffee thing? Yeah, you did mention quite a few good things about the company yourself, and
Yeah.
thermal was an interesting thing.
You know why? And I just watched Paycheck, and then my sister was watching Airplanes, and we're like, she's disgusting in this movie. She's really good looking at some points, but in the movie she was like, ooh, why'd they pick her?
All right.
That's horrible though. I feel like she